Listen very closely. There are many tips that are going to be shared in the next several minutes. Deliver her speech, the Four-Man Plan, from Speaking to Inform, the abstract concept. Join me in welcoming Harmony Petrosino.
Could I see a show of hands of who here is single?
Yay.
And of you people who are single, how many of you would like to be dating or find somebody special? Well, this is the top for you. It's based on this book called The Four-Man Plan by Cindy Lou. But I just do want to clear up one point that might cause confusion before I begin, because a couple months ago I gave a speech about polyamory, where I talked about how you could have simultaneous romantic relationships with more than one person. But this is not about that. This is about having a relationship, an intimate relationship with only one person, although you have to date a lot of people to find that one person. So I just wanted to make sure that you understood that. This book, The Four-Man Plan, the author Cindy Lou says that she wrote it for women who suck at love. Now, I include myself in that group. For some reason, we have been unable to find a long-lasting, stable relationship. But now we can do that. We'll be able to now. There's hope for us. Now, one of the reasons that we might have sucked at love was because in the past, we were too picky about who we dated. You know, we would only date people who were rich or drove a nice car or were athletic, or maybe we wouldn't date somebody if they were short. Well, all that stuff has to go out the window. Now, we date anybody and everybody. Actually, what we're looking for is somebody who is honest, loving, and willing. And by willing, I mean willing to share new experiences with you. But you have to date somebody a little while to find out if they do have those qualities. Now, the only people you do not date are people who are married, or people who are abusive, or who the author Cindy describes as icky. I know icky is an imprecise term, and icky does not mean superficial characteristics. Like last week, Tricia told us that she almost broke up with her boyfriend she's going to Maui with because he wore an aloha shirt on their first date. Well, that's not icky, but you know what icky is, and it's something you know when you see it. So that said, we date everybody and anybody. And we're looking for honest, loving, and willing. Now, this plan is also for men, because if you happen to be dating a woman who is following this book, then if you read this, you will know exactly what it is you have to do to win her heart, her mind, and whatever else you want to win. Now, Cindy here, what she's done is she's taken the art of love and transformed it into a science involving math. It's called the Four-Man Plan. So it would appear that in order to find the one person, you need to be dating four. But it's actually a little more complicated than that, because Cindy says that when you first start dating a man, he's only a quarter man. So that means you could be dating 16 men. Now, you're probably wondering, well, what does a quarter man have to do to become a half man? Well, when you're dating the quarter man and you're on the second or third date, you need to tell him about the plan. Because the plan only works when men know they are competing for you. Men thrive on competition. They rise to the occasion, and it makes them more chivalrous. Women, on the other hand, competing for men brings out their worst qualities. Actually, it's a biological imperative, and it depends upon which species you belong to, because the law is that whichever gender of a particular species is the more attractive, that's the one that gets chased after. So for peacocks, the females chase the males. But when it comes to humans, well, let's face it, ladies, we are the pretty ones, so the men chase us. So as I said, for a quarter man to become a half, it has to be the second or third date, and you tell them about the plan. Now my guest here, David, who finally made it on time, I want you to know that for us, this is our third day, and I am telling him about the plan for the first time.
Boy, do I feel like a setup.
Congratulations, David, you have just become a half man. You have been officially half.
Oh my.
Now, David, in case you're wondering what you have, now that you're a half man, if you're wondering what you have to do to become a whole man, there are two ways to become a whole man, and I think you've already done one of them. One way is there needs to be a certain level of physical intimacy that is more than a long good night kiss, but less than full-on sex. And well, Cindy here goes into great detail describing exactly what she means by that, and I wasn't going to get that detailed myself because you can read the book. But so that's one way, to have a certain level of physical intimacy. And the other way to become a whole man is if he uses the L word around you. I mean, if he talks about love. Now it doesn't count if a woman talks about love. But for some reason, men who are competing for women talk about love. Maybe because it's easier to talk about love than actually do love, but for whatever reason, that gives you a whole man. You either have a certain level of intimacy or there's talk about love. Now the question is, once you have a whole man, how do you keep him whole? And the answer is, you put off having actual sex with him for as long as you can. Sorry about that, David. but there's a reason for this. And David, don't take this personally. but there's an
I need a
action.
drink.
There is a drink over there. Get him a drink. But there's an axiom that says that men will only be as nice to you as they need to be in order to get you into bed. And who knows how nice they'll be after that. Now, of course, we're looking for honest, loving, and willing, but men who want to go to bed with you appear to be very honest, loving, and willing. So you need to know them a while and date them a while so you can trust them to find out if they are honest, loving, and willing. Now, once you make that decision and you finally do go to bed with your whole man, he becomes a 2 1/4 man. And the reason for this is our mathematical genius, Cindy, decided, as I said before, this is a plan about only having one lover at a time. And she just wants to make the point that if you slept with 2 men and they're each worth 2 1/4, that adds up to more than 4 and it is too much. So another rule of the plan is, once you have your 2 1/4 man, you keep dating other men. Now, you're not having sex with the other men, but you keep dating them. And the reason for that is, there are actually 3 reasons. One is it makes you less needy, it gives you a basis for comparison, and it lets your 2 1/4 man know that he's still competing for you. Now, you might wonder if, how high can a 2 1/4 man go? Can one man ever become worth 4 men? Well, actually, no. One man cannot be everything because nobody is perfect. But the highest numerical status a man can achieve is 3 1/2. In order to get 3 1/2, what you need is, you already have honest, loving, and willing. And then in addition to that, the man says that he wants to have an exclusive monogamous relationship with you. And you really love this man, so you decide, yes, okay. And at that point, you become a 3 1/2, you can stop dating other people, and that's as good as it gets. Now, I want to end my talk by telling you a funny story, as if it's not funny enough already. Who here remembers Helena Summer Medina? She used to be in our club 3 years ago. Well, she's a life coach, and she uses this book with her clients, and she used it personally. And she she found out that I was giving this talk, and she got really excited, and she said, oh, make sure you mention me in your talk and tell them that when I was a member of Waikiki Club 3 years ago, that Greg Ching was my leading man. Now, I don't know if Greg was a whole man or if he was a 2 1/4, but I don't think he was 3 1/2 because Helena ended up marrying somebody else, and she moved to Texas with him, and she's living happily ever after now. But Greg, I just want to tell you, the next woman you find, just make sure you read this book and follow it really well, so that you can achieve the 3 1/2 status, and then you can hang on to that woman. Now, I just want to say, this is the 4-man plan is the best plan to find the person of your dreams and to have fun while you're doing it. Mr. Toast.